What's up? I'm Wicked. I'm giving power back to the people, and you can't stop me. Today we are going to discuss lucid dreaming, but before we dive in, go ahead and give this video a big thumbs up, smash that subscribe button, and make sure to click that little bell so you get notified when new content appears. If you're looking for an extra power kick, don't be afraid to reach out. Head on over to the Wicked Witch's web, click on Wicked Coaching, and send me a line so that we can start creating your favorite experience together. A couple weeks ago, we talked about astral projection, and it's important for you to know that it is different from lucid dreaming. In fact, if you're struggling with astral projection, lucid dreaming can be a great way for you to begin to establish control while you're in your subconscious state. Lucid dreaming can also be a little bit easier to wrap your mind around if you're brand new to all of this. Lucid dreaming is when we dream consciously, meaning you're able to influence your dreams while you are in a dreamlike state. And speaking from personal experience, this really comes in handy if you're prone to nightmares and even sleep paralysis. If you're able to influence your dreams, you can take yourself right out of a nightmare scene and go into a more peaceful space. Once you're able to dream consciously, you can also snap yourself out of sleep paralysis. Awareness is so important in both of these scenarios because you have to be able to actually identify that you're dreaming in order to influence either of these situations. For those of you lucky people who don't know what sleep paralysis is, let's take a couple minutes to go over it. When we sleep, our brain puts our bodies into a certain level of paralysis so that we don't hurt ourselves. This is of course a good thing, but the trouble comes in when you start to wake up while you are still in this slightly paralyzed state. This gives us a sense of being locked in. We're conscious and sort of awake, but we can't move. And to add to that, part of our brain is still dreaming, which can make this entire experience absolutely terrifying. Sleep paralysis happens in between stages of sleep, so you might experience sleep paralysis when you are just beginning to fall asleep and starting to enter REM sleep, or when you are just exiting REM sleep and starting to wake up. You see, this is a certain state of consciousness where we're kind of awake but still kind of asleep, and therefore still dreaming but able to see our surroundings, which can lead to some really terrifying and incredibly realistic nightmares. And truly the most terrifying part of this, and for me the most infuriating part of this, is that your body is still paralyzed while you're going through all of this, so you can't move and sometimes can't even fully wake yourself up. This means you can't do anything about whatever horrors you're seeing. You just kind of have to lay there and wait for this process to end naturally. The only cure I have found for this is teaching myself to lucid dream. Being able to recognize when I'm in sleep paralysis has helped me learn to control it and shut it off. Now, I've been doing this for years, but there are still times when I'm in the middle of a sleep paralysis and I can't fully pull myself out because my brain puts me back to sleep in the middle of that waking process. For a while, I actually found that this was making things harder because my conscious mind was trying so hard to wake me up, while another part of my brain and my body were forcing me back to sleep. I would almost be out of it and then just sort of clock out and shove myself right back into that nightmare reality. And oftentimes it would be the exact same scene, the exact same stuff was going on, like I didn't miss a beat, so it would get really frustrating. It would take several attempts to actually finally wake up and be able to pull myself out of sleep paralysis. In my practices, I have found that using somewhat of a safe word has actually made all of the difference. If you experience sleep paralysis, pick any obscure or slightly uncommon word and train yourself to use it when you are experiencing this state of consciousness. This has helped me to completely pull myself out of a sleep paralysis and wake up. I have also found that it is really helpful to get up and walk around once you're out so that you can make sure that your body fully wakes back up and therefore has to fully go back to sleep. This also allows you to really shake the sleep and, most importantly, the nightmare away so that you can get grounded again and kind of give yourself a moment to tap back into reality, get control of yourself, and just feel a little bit better before trying to actually go to sleep. And it really helps to ensure that your body is fully awake so that this doesn't continue to happen. Now, back to lucid dreaming. The concept of this is actually really simple. When you're in a dream, you are consciously telling your brain what you want to happen. But the process of accomplishing this is a little bit more complex. First and foremost, to be really successful at this, you're going to want to start to take notes. Dream recall is an important factor in being able to lucid dream, just like it is with astral projection. By notating your experience, you are training your brain to understand that what's going on when you step into dream state is important, and it's not information that should just be tossed away. The process of writing out your experiences not only tells your brain that you want to save that information, but that you also want to be conscious for it as well. Another thing you can do to help yourself lucid dream is come up with a reality testing process so that you can alert yourself that you are actually dreaming. Looking at your hands is a big tool for this. You want to start this process when you're in your waking hours. You're going to want to start counting your fingers, take notes of any freckles, lines, or, if you're like me and you have tattoos, you're going to want to notice those too. And then when you're dreaming and you notice it, the first thing you want to do is take a look at your hands and look for any similarities, but most importantly, differences. So I have 13 stars tattooed on my hands, and sometimes when I'm dreaming, I won't have any at all. This is my signal to myself that I'm dreaming, and this allows me to start really playing with the scene. I also usually have my nails painted black, so if I'm in a dream and they're any different color or there's no paint at all, that's a really big indicator for me that I am dreaming. But of course, it's going to be different for you. However, you have to lean into the fact that you know yourself best. So if you start looking at your hands and something is different, wrong, or off, first of all, don't be alarmed because that'll wake you up, but notice that this is your sign that you are dreaming. This is a really great tool for when you want to start lucid dreaming and really playing with things in the dream, but if you're just starting out, this is a great tool for just getting yourself to observe the dream. It's honestly kind of like a spot the difference book. For instance, most of us feel that kind of stuck in molasses feeling when we're trying to run or kick or hit something in our dreams, and allow that to be a big signal to yourself that you are dreaming. Sometimes it's best to just start with the observation phase because it allows you to get comfortable with the idea of being conscious while you're dreaming. But for those of you who want to get right to the active stuff and might have a little bit of an easier time doing so, here are a few do's and don'ts. You're going to want to avoid thinking about your physical body while you are lucid dreaming because honestly, it is a great avenue right up to your sleep paralysis demon's house. If you snap back into your body before you're ready to wake up, there is a high chance that you are going to end up in sleep paralysis. Please trust me on this one. But for those of you who don't have that problem, it is also just a really good way to wake yourself up before you're able to really even do anything in your dream. Do not think about scary stuff when you're dreaming or you're just going to end up in a nightmare scene. Try to keep the mindscape as peaceful as you can possibly manage. Also, you don't want to close your eyes when you realize you're in a lucid dream. This is a great way to wake yourself up. Another great tip is to avoid mirrors. If you look in them, you're likely going to see a distorted version of yourself, which could probably scare you into waking yourself up, ending your lucid dreaming experience. When you're first starting out with lucid dreaming, don't try to go for the most exciting thing first. You want to give yourself time to adjust to this level of consciousness. So if you try to fly right off the bat, you're likely going to startle yourself awake with that falling feeling. Doing so is, of course, just going to end the lucid dreaming experience. So you want to get comfortable there. You want to be able to signal to your conscious mind that you know you're in a dream, you have control, and the laws of reality are different here. But it takes a little bit of time and practice to actually get there. But here are some things you can do to make your lucid dreaming experience a little bit easier. Before lucid dreaming, you're going to want to do just like what we talked about with astral projection, which is where you do a visualization meditation and envision a force field surrounding your physical body and your spirit, protecting you through the process. You can also ask your higher self and your guides to look out for you along your journey to give you that added feeling of security and safety. As we talked about, developing a reality testing method is going to help you figure out when you're dreaming, but looking at your hands can also help you stabilize a dream, and so too can spinning in a circle. So if you feel yourself starting to wake up and you can catch it before you get there, trying one of these two things might help you to keep yourself in that dream state. This is also really effective if anything starts to get too weird, or if things are maybe moving too quickly for you, or they're too vivid or anything like that. If you can kind of ground yourself in the dream by checking your hands and spinning a circle, that is going to help with those things. To be honest, I'm not really sure why the spinning in a circle one works, but I've tried it and I've had great results. Honestly, I think it's just kind of like a meditative practice. If you focus on spinning in a circle, you're keeping yourself in your dream and it helps you to stabilize the scene. But like I said, I'm not really sure why, I just know that I have had personal success with it. Another thing you can do is practice getting comfortable with the specific dream's reality. Every dream is different, so once you notice you're in one, study it a little bit. You want to figure out where the rules differ from the waking world. If you notice people flying around, walking on air, conjuring fire, anything like that, it's going to help you to understand that that's how this world operates, and you have less of a chance of actually scaring yourself awake when you do something like that too. Another fun thing you can do is to create a dream buddy for yourself. Now, you can ask your higher self or your spirit guides to show up for you when you're dreaming, or you can create your very own dream entity for this purpose. This can really help you along the way, and sometimes it gives our subconscious a voice to speak to us with. This is something you're going to want to define during your waking hours. So are they human, animal, creature? Can they speak? It's going to be a lot more helpful if they can, but while you're just beginning, if all you can do is conjure the presence, that's enough for now. But you're going to want to figure out, what color are their clothes, their skin, their eyes, their fur, their horns. The further out there you can get with your dream buddy, the easier it's going to be to let yourself know that you are in fact dreaming. So imagining a giant purple talking unicorn can really help you get the job done. Lastly, remember to take breaks from lucid dreaming. People who lucid dream often report getting less restful sleep, which totally makes sense because your conscious mind is still working, and when you're first starting out, it's working pretty hard to get this done. So make sure you're giving yourself time to actually get some really restful sleep. And this can be kind of hard when you're first starting out, especially if you get it down, because it's going to be really exciting, but don't forget that it's important to take care of your brain and body by getting plenty of rest. What you can do is split up your sleep, or only lucid dream when you take naps. Everybody's different, so whatever works for you, but do make sure that you are getting the rest you need as well. Now, like I said at the beginning of this video, it is important to understand how astral projection and lucid dreaming differ. And it's really quite simple. Astral projection is an out-of-body experience. Lucid dreaming is an in-body experience. But getting good at one can help you get better at the other. It's up to you where you start, if you start at all, but just know that the possibilities are truly endless when it comes to either of these two things. This is a really great way to let your creative side out and to enjoy all of the different phases of your life, as well as all of the different realms of consciousness. Now, that's all I have for this one. Thank you so much for joining me, and make sure to like and subscribe so that I can help you keep your third eye in the sky. Stay blessed and happy dream walking.